Hello and welcome to All Things Social Security. Your video is about to start. If you haven't checked out the new memberships we're offering that provide a level of attorney attention to some questions you might have personally with regard to Social Security or SSI, take a look, see, click the join, and you can read more about it. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Talk to you soon. Bye. Good afternoon. Big shout out to StaceyB, who brought up the point related to an older video, several months old now, regarding the non-medical review messages people are getting when they have a claim pending before the SSA. And the non-medical review discussion has been in one or more videos in the past. And generally, it's supposed to be an indicator that the person has prevailed, because you do not, when they say that they finished the medical review and now they're sending you on to the non-medical review, it is supposed to be because you prevailed on the medical, because you wouldn't need a non-medical. Legally, there would be no basis for it, as far as we can see, for a non-medical review if you're denied on the medical. StaceyB brought up, I think she was a little confused by one of the videos, not realizing that we've had discussions since that, oh my gosh, why did somebody get a non-medical review message that it would be resolved in 2 to 4 weeks and then be denied based on medical, when she gets the denial based on medical. So I have to say, I know we've touched on this in terms of posts and comments and such, but I believe it is a big glitch with the SSA messages getting out to the wrong people. They should be restricted, is my understanding, to those that have prevailed on the medical, as logically it seems from the message itself. But somehow it is getting clicked out on anyone who has a determination, apparently. And I shouldn't say anyone, because I don't know if every single person that's gotten denied has gotten this message, but certainly many, many people have. I mean, I started hearing about it, not when we did the video originally, but within like a few months, it seemed like it was going awry, and people that shouldn't be getting the message were getting it. And, you know, of course, their hopes up, they believe they prevailed. And then to get that denial letter has got to be so disturbing and so upsetting. It's like, it's a bad joke, right? So I wanted to put this out there. I'm going to attach there's actually 2 videos, but I'm just going to attach the one so you can see what that is about, and then realize that those messages might be going out to the wrong people. So don't hang your hat on them yet until it gets straightened out, is what the grapevine and myself are thinking. Okay. I hope that helps. You know, it's very troublesome, but I hope it gets fixed, and fixed fast. Happy Friday, guys. You're probably not seeing this on a Friday, but it's Friday. Bye. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Just a little quickie about, if you have received, maybe it's in your online SSA account, you are reading that your case has been referred back to the field office. Now, this is assuming you had a pending case, right, to prove disability, either SSI or SSD. And it says that your case has been, however they would word it, but sent back to the field office for a non-medical review. All right, so what does that mean? This is what it generally means. And but you can't hold me to it, because sometimes SSA does put out misinformation inadvertently, you know. But generally, I find that when that happens, it means that a finding of disabled was made by the state agency to which the federal government SSA outsources your case for that medical workup. That's where you've been, right? Where they schedule the CE exam, they order your medical records, they might ask you questions about your work history, and so on, or new impairments, you know, they do all that stuff. And then when they make a decision, yay or nay, it goes back to the field office. But the interesting thing is the language that it went back to the field office for a non-medical review. Now, if it was denied, I don't know what they're currently saying up on the SSA, you know, your files. It could be, I know it said things like a decision has been made, period. I don't know that they're going to say it would go back for a non-medical review, because I don't imagine it would, because there's no non-medical review to be had on a case that has not been found to be disabled at some point. So what does that then mean also? Okay, so let's assume that's what it is. There's a disabled finding. That's awesome. That is all that that office was tasked to do, was to find out if you are disabled. And if it was just an SSI claim, they would decide if you were disabled before, forgive me, if it was an SSD case, decide if you were disabled and if that was before your date last insured, which we all have one. If you don't have one, call the 1-800 number, 772-1213 to find out about yours. If you, with an SSI case, that can go on, you don't have to have insured status. So there is no real deadline like that. So anyway, disability has been found, and it wasn't after your DLI if you had only an SSD case. If you had both, it could have been after your DLI, and it still has to go back for the SSA business. So what this means is, regardless, when it goes back to the field office, they're going to be doing that non-medical review to determine if you meet the non-medical requirements of either program or both, if you applied for both. Non-medical requirements for Social Security disability is a double check, really, because they did this before you filed, before they spent all the money at the state agency to work up your medical portion, but they need to determine for sure that your insured status is still intact as of the date of that you were found to have become disabled. That is often just we call it just a formality. That's probably not entirely accurate, but yeah, I mean, if you've already been checked, you would think it would have been already known. So I would like to call it a recheck. Possibly. If it's SSI, it has nothing to do with date less insured, because it has no bearing. There is no insurance with SSI. It's that welfare program. So because it's the welfare program, that means it's needs based, and they have to go recheck your financial condition. They did do this to a certain degree, and not like a tiny degree, but they did it to a certain degree. When you applied, you had to answer financial questions, right? Where you lived, how you were, getting your shelter, income, countable resources, countable income, gifts, all that kind of stuff. So they are going to be going through all of that. That usually entails something called a perk, and that is where they usually interview you on phone to see if you meet the financial poorness factors for SSI. So SSI, the non-medical criteria is the financial. Are you poor enough? SSD, doesn't matter about your wealth. It's, are you still insured at the relevant time when you are found disabled? Okay. So this is what tends to be. I don't really find contrary things, although I do know that sometimes the language in our my SSA accounts, I think it is, which I think you can find if you didn't know at ssa.gov/my account. The language up there, I don't always trust that there's accurate information coming from there. But if you see that is what it should be meaning. Okay. Assuming no one's made any big boo-boos. All right. That would be a like typo boo-boos. All right. Anyway, I hope that helps. Have a great day. Bye.